Hey, Justin, what's going on, man? At the end of the day, it is what it is. And now, without further ado, let's see if my man is out there. Everybody right now that's on Facebook, let me say this before we get our guests out here. Some of you guys questions I can see, some of you guys questions I can't see. So I'll try to answer as many as possible, but I won't get into the question thing until we're well into the show because we're going to give Jim some time to do his thing. Okay, guys? Is he out there? Oh, Jim, I can't hear you. Is that me or you?
My friend.
Oh, there you go. There
right.
you go.
All right.
There you go.
Yeah, I was on mute. I guess I put myself on mute because I was in your holding cell.
Oh, yeah. If it was on my side, I can see it. So it is what it is. What's going on, Jim? Tell us something good, man.
Not much, man. I was listening before I came in. My voice is shot, by the way. I did a Hollywood premiere or a Hollywood movie screening this weekend.
You telling
me
about that.
Shot. So I heard you talking about Sherry when I was in the green room. Okay. And I was going to tell you a really cool story. So you did my podcast a few years back. So did your brother.
Right.
But prior to podcasting, I had a radio show in Northern California, and it was called Slammin' with Casey and Cooley. Mm-hmm. And it was around wrestling and boxing and MMA. And my very first episode, my first guest ever was Sherry, and she was super awesome. So love that lady, man. I miss her a lot, but she was, she always helped me throughout my career. So super nice lady.
Yeah, man. Sherry was a very unique individual, if I may say so myself. Now, Jennifer, people are watching me right now and they say they have no sound. Well, the podcast doesn't come through my, what happened to Jim? The podcast doesn't come through my phone. If you guys are looking at me on my phone, you got to go to Facebook. Go to Facebook and you can see the show live. If you tapping into my phone, you're not going to see the show live. You got to go to YouTube, Stevie Ray TV on YouTube, or either Stevie Ray TV on Twitch. If you're not getting the feed from Facebook, because I do have my Facebook on the show tonight. Whenever I do guest, I have my Facebook on the show. So Jim erased itself for a second, but there you go.
I did. I was trying to set my audio so I could hear myself, but that's okay. If I'm too loud, you could just tell me, Stevie.
No, you're not too loud. I can control your volume from my end.
Okay, good.
You see what I'm saying? So the people, and I'm gonna tell you before I know it, the fans will start saying, Stevie, he's too loud. I get everything from the fans, man. So anyway, what were you saying again?
No, that was it. It was cool. I saw you work with Sherry and everything that you guys went through as she came to WCW. And it was a great run that you guys had. She fit in really well with you guys. And she was always such a nice lady. And like I said, she just always helped me with my career. And her and Leilani Kai early on gave me tons of phone numbers for my radio show. And then I used those when I started promoting wrestling and doing all my other things. So it really worked out. It was just such a good community.
Okay, great, bro. Man, I really miss Sherry. I miss a lot of guys. I mean, Brian Adams. Me and Brian were really close, man. I miss him also. Me and Bam Bam Bigelow were really close, man. And I've told a few stories about both of those guys on the show because I don't really do a lot of the old, wrestling stories and stuff like that. What people like to do. But I like to do the funny ones, And man, I miss both of those guys, man. Miss both of them, man, and Sherry. But Eddie and I used to go back and forth with each other. Eddie Guerrero insulting each other because we're both from Texas. So we would insult each other in the dressing room, and people would sit there and just laugh at all of us. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I remember Chris Jericho once I was on his show and he was like, man, you know what I miss? The insults, man, between you and Eddie. That was so funny, man. I mean, where we're from, that's what you did every day, man. It's crack on each other, brother. So that was some of the stuff nobody had really seen in a wrestling dressing room.
Right.
So it was what it was, man. But I miss those guys, man. And Chris Benoit, brother. I mean, me and Chris been all over the world together, brother. And tragic situation out there also. But man, I still missed him. But anyway, brother, what is going on with you out in the world of combat sports? Because I heard you had a problem with your boy. I heard you had a problem with your boy, with me.
So my biggest problem is that I feel like you never work out with me, and I'm just trying to work out with you once or twice. No, here's the problem.
Once I come to the West Coast, I'm looking you up.
Okay, all right, we got to. Where
are you living right now?
Sacramento. Sacramento.
Oh yeah, Sacramento.
Yeah, I got small, brother. Like I started racing BMX bikes. I don't know why. 48 years old, I decided to start racing BMX bikes.
Man?
So I'm losing muscle mass.
That's gonna get rid of all your muscle, man.
No, it's not good. I got to figure it out. Yeah, I saw you made a post about Floyd Mayweather.
I didn't make a post.
I saw you share a post about.
I shared a post,
and you said, and I quote, 100% correct.
Yes.
So you made a post. So. I
didn't. Go ahead.
And I don't know what your rules are for how you talk on your podcast, but
man, I mean, no, everything goes here.
The post was everything bullshit. Goes. So, but here's the deal: it's sports fan blather bullshit. It's armchair boxing fan bullshit. Everybody thinks Floyd Mayweather's overrated. Everybody thinks Floyd Mayweather has not done.
Hold up a second. Let me set it up for everybody before you start. Okay.
Okay.
Jim, you know how this goes. Everybody, someone posted some things about Floyd Mayweather and Floyd Mayweather's career. I saw it. I thought it was super funny. Y'all know how I talk about Floyd Mayweather on this show, as well as other boxing also. But this one had a few things that I actually agreed with. And like I told Jim on Facebook, I don't agree with all of it, but I do agree with a lot of it. A lot of it. But be that as it may, Jim was like, hey, man, we got to come on the show and talk about this. And I'm like, yes, let's do it. So that is what Jim is alluding to right now. I can't even remember the name of the guy that posted it, but it was about Floyd Mayweather. So you guys know how we do on this show. So let's get it cracking. Go ahead, Jim. You're muted again. You're muted again, Jim. There you go.
And cage side for probably, I'm going to guess, 10,000 fights. Not 10,000 events, but 10,000 fights. And as a ring announcer, a commentator, a judge, I've been in combat sports my whole life. I fought MMA. I boxed Washington Neighborhood Center back in the day. Clayton Williams, Tony Lopez. And
Jim, you muted yourself again. I don't know what's going on with your deal. You muted yourself again. Okay. Then there's something else going on. You keep going in and out.
Somebody keeps muting me. I don't know what's happening. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
I'm not touching anything, and I'll look down.
Right.
I'll be on mute, so I don't know.
Is it how's it? What's going on with that? Do you know?
I don't know. I'm almost set up in my full studio, so it shouldn't.
Yeah, I hear you. I know you got your full studio because I remember you getting me coming here check everything out.
I don't know. Anyway, so I'm not going to sit here and say I'm the foremost expert on boxing. Okay, Stevie, because I'm not. That goes to Teddy Atlas and those guys. But
that's questionable, but go ahead.
I know I know a lot about Floyd Mayweather, okay?
Okay.
And here's what people don't like about Floyd Mayweather, and I'm going to tell you a few reasons why. One, they don't like him because
I already know, but go ahead.
He's a boring fighter.
Here. I already know.
He's a defensive fighter. Therefore, he's a boring fighter to the common fan. That being said, in CompuBox era, which CompuBox, for those of you at home that don't know, is a computerized punch stat tracker that not only tracks your punches thrown, it tracks your power punches thrown, it also tracks how often you get out of the way of punches. So Floyd Mayweather, his land percentage is 46%. 46%, while his miss percentage is 16%. That means of the 50 people he's fought combined, they've landed 16% of their punches, where he's landed half. Okay. So what happens is you have guys like Mike Tyson, you have guys like Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, all these guys that are just, they go, Shane Mosley, and everybody wants to see the punches. They want to see it go. But what people don't realize is the biggest part of boxing is not getting hit. And Floyd Mayweather simply does not get hit, Stevie. And so the big knock on Floyd is, he's not aggressive. He's not aggressive. He's not a power puncher. He's never claimed to be a power puncher. But I'll tell you one thing that he does have that people underestimate, and that's his jaw. The guy's been knocked down one time in 50 fights, and he voluntarily took a knee because he had a hurt hand and shoulder. That was against Carlos Hernandez. So the guy's never been knocked down. Shane Mosley rocked
What about the
him.
knockdown against Zab Judah that they didn't call?
That wasn't a knockdown. Come on, it's not a knockdown. Let's say
Let's say the knockdown. If your hand touched the floor, that's a knockdown.
Yes.
Right.
So let me get
by rules.
Yes.
I'm not saying it's a knockdown, but by rules.
By rule. So let me give it to you. Let's say he got knocked down. Okay. So we know that he's only got 20 something knockouts. So he's fought a ton of rounds. So you take all 50 fights, and he's been knocked down twice, and both times he didn't go down. Right.
But that's nobody's question. I don't think anybody's questioning.
Okay. So now there's a plus minus in CompuBox. It's a number that decides how often you get hit as opposed to how often you land. His is 30. Okay. In his era, the closest person to him, Stevie, is the son of God, Andre Ward. And his number is 15. Manny Pacquiao's is 11. Vitaly Klitschko's is 13. 30. Floyd's is 30, Stevie. That tells you this guy can land and not get hit. So you fight 50 times and you finish with a 16% ratio of getting hit. You got to understand that this guy is the best that's ever been. You got to go all the way back. Go ahead.
I don't think that's what people are questioning about Floyd Mayweather. By you giving that analogy and chronicling that so well, that is not for the untrained eye to really look at and really have a big comment about it. I really don't think fans are really looking at it in that aspect, because you are, systematically telling, how things are in the real boxing world. But fans, if a regular fan does not look at that.
They think he ducked everybody. They think he ducked everybody.
I mean, if come on, let's go back a little ways, but before CompuBox.
Okay.
CompuBox ain't been around forever.
Right.
So it was an eye test. And you got to have an eye test in any sport when you're talking about a sport of competition.
Okay.
Because it's just like takedowns in MMA. Well, back in the day, the takedown didn't mean anything. But now the takedown does. You can win a fight by taking a guy down, 2-3 times in one round and never hit him.
Right.
And at the end of 5 rounds, you win the fight. So a lot of things are subjective. But when it comes to Floyd Mayweather, everything you're saying is 100% true, and nobody will ever argue that.
Right.
But what people have a problem with Floyd Mayweather, and I know this for a fact because I've talked to a lot of boxers that won't say it on my show. They'll come on my show and never say this. But if we're talking like at dinner or hanging out, then they will.
He's a cherry picker. You're going to say he's a cherry picker, right?
Oh, everybody knows that.
He's not.
That goes without saying. Okay, let me ask you this.
Okay.
This is how people in the African-American community judge boxers.
Okay.
They do not judge them the way the majority of the community of this population.
White people. You can say
judges,
white people.
Yes. Judge boxing.
Right.
If you don't, and this is any sport, basketball, track and field, football, whatever it may be, if you don't go against the African-American fighter, you will never be looked at as one of the greats.
Okay. So let's say that's true.
Especially after you became a made man, which means you're the point guy now.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? The point guy is the guy that gets the relay stick and takes it home.
Okay, so then let's break that down.
You're not the first leg, second leg, third leg, then there's fourth leg.
Right.
Okay.
So who was the
De La Hoya? Hold on a second. Okay. After the De La Hoya fight, now you're the point man, and you shied away from the African American fighter.
Who? Who's the African American fighter we're talking about?
How many years did it take you to fight Shane Mosley? And I'm not even putting Shane Mosley.
I just had this conversation yesterday.
No, hold on.
I understand.
I'm not even putting him up there as a guy to beat Floyd Mayweather, because we've seen this guy get his head knocked off by Vernon Forrest.
Correct.
We've seen him get his head knocked off by what's your boy from Florida? Winky Wright. We've seen that.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Well, we've seen that. But this is the thing. If you don't fight the African-American fighter in our communities, you will never be looked at as great, unless you're one of these little hip-hop generation where they don't know anything about boxing anyway.
And I'll give you that. But I guess my question would be, because in Floyd's prime, the guys that were on top weren't necessarily African-American fighters in his weight classes. Now, listen, he fluctuated 24 pounds from 130 to 154.
But
so
I'm talking about after when he came
after he
up
beat
and
De La
fought
Hoya.
De La Hoya, yes.
Right. Then so you tell me who he was, because he did fight Mosley after that. Granted, it was late.
40-year-old Mosley that been beat up by all the other African-American guys.
Yes. But so tell me who he should have fought, I guess is my question, because I don't know who he should have fought.
Winky Wright.
Winky Wright wouldn't have not had a chance against Floyd Mayweather.
Now, this is why I have a problem with that. When people say this wouldn't have happened and this wouldn't have happened, I'm not saying these guys would have beaten him.
He just should have fought.
What I'm saying is you shied away from him. If you look at the last 3 guys that he fought that were African-American, excluding Andre Berto, I don't put him on the list at all.
But Berto was undefeated when he fought Floyd.
No,
he was supposed to be the guy.
Remember Berto lost to Robert Guerrero. Remember Berto lost to the kid that
Victor Ortiz.
Victor Ortiz. Come on, brother. We're not going to even have him on.
I agree.
His name shouldn't be on the show today.
I agree, but he was supposed to be the guy. But what I'm saying is,
you look at the last 3 guys that Floyd Mayweather fought that was African American.
Right.
Shane Mosley, Chop Corley, and Zab Judah. What do they all have in common?
They all got beat by Floyd Mayweather.
And they all hurt him.
I'll give you this. Mosley hurt him. Mosley hurt him bad.
And they all hurt him.
I don't know that Zab hurt him as bad as people think.
Well, if your hand hit the floor, he hurt him. And he was out speeding him before his stupidity became involved.
Listen, Zab's my friend. I love Zab Judah. That's my boy.
I'm just talking about
I'm with you.
Regardless what happened in the fight.
Right. Well, if you go by
let's not misconstrue what I'm saying. What I'm saying is your style of fighting, you will always have you're going to have a high IQ, punch rate, defensive rate, this, that, and the other.
Yep.
Against the flat-footed Hispanic fighter. No disrespect to anybody.
He did it to all the black fighters too, though, Stevie.
Who?
He did it to Mosley. Mosley
was 40 years old, brother. How you going to put Mosley in this conversation?
He did it to Berto. He did it to Zab. He did it to Zab.
What did Vernon Forrest do to Mosley?
Okay, I understand that, but he did it to Zab too. Yes, Zab did.
What did Winky Wright do to Mosley?
Okay, but you're not hearing me. You just said the
I hear you.
3 black fighters.
I'm saying don't bring that into what I'm saying is these guys were able to do things other guys didn't, and they weren't even at his caliber.
Okay, so I guess my question would be: so you think the guy that was at his caliber that he should have fought would have been Winky Wright?
One of them. Another one would have been Paul Williams.
See, I don't even think Paul Williams is a good fighter. That's just my opinion.
I'm really not here to debate whether what I think about a fighter or what you think about a fighter. I'm here to debate Floyd Mayweather and his avoiding of the African-American fighter.
So I've never heard this argument before. This is the first time I've heard this argument.
Well, because most people don't want to bring it up. That's why this podcast is dangerous. That's why it's dangerous, bro. I'm going to tell it like it is.
The flat-footed Mexican fighters.
The flat-footed Hispanic fighter. I didn't say Mexican. I said Hispanic. Because anything in South America, anything beyond El Paso, Texas, anything south of El Paso, Texas, and all the way down to Nicaragua, that is a Hispanic fighter.
Okay.
Yes, Argentina.
I'm staying away from. You can tell I'm staying away from this comment, right? Like I'm not.
Hey, brother, it is what it is.
I'm not doing
because I've said this on social media. Nobody can disagree with it because they never thought about it like that. His style, the fast-moving, fast-twitch muscles. Fast-twitch muscles, the only thing offset fast-twitch muscles and fast feet, fast hand, quick IQ. The only thing offsets that is the guy that fights just like you. Every champion had a problem with the guy that was in the same category as him. Every guy.
Okay.
Every category.
Okay. Listen, here's what we're debating. We're debating Floyd Mayweather's legacy and whether or not he's the greatest fighter of all time. I stand by the fact that Sugar Ray Robinson is the greatest fighter of all time, and Floyd Mayweather is a close second. And I say that now. Listen, I'm not African American, Stevie. So I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh, he didn't fight the black fighters." I'm sorry. Who's better? Listen, you know what the problem is? I'm going to tell you what the problem is. Here's the problem. The problem is that we as people Let's take wrestling fans, for instance. We as people
Mm-hmm.
remember the wrestlers from our era
Mm-hmm.
as being so much better from the wrestlers of this era.
Mm-hmm.
And this is taking nothing away from the Stevie Rays and
I mean, but
Booker T's.
that's the fans.
But it's not true.
No.
The guys today are doing bigger things, more.
Oh, and I say that on this show all the time.
But that's how boxing has evolved as well. But we don't hear
Not with me.
It's like Hagler, Hearns, Leonard.
Not
Duran.
with me.
But that's my point.
I give today's guys their just due.
Okay. So tell me then. So then do you tell me if I say Sugar Ray and then Floyd, who's in between them?
Not in my community.
But that's what I'm asking. What is
in my community?
You're gonna say Muhammad Ali?
No, brother. What I'm saying is this. You look at the guys that Mayweather fought after Oscar De La Hoya.
Okay.
When he had to take his sabbatical, when he had signed with Al Heyman, his first fight back was Juan Marquez at 135-pound fighter.
I don't understand that reference. Floyd fought at 130 at one point.
Okay, we're gonna look at revisionist history before we're gonna take it step by step. That's all.
So you're saying because he'd already moved up, he's coming back.
Yeah,
down.
just got through fighting at 154.
Okay, fair enough. Okay.
Juan Marquez had one fight, I think, at 135, and I think that was against Pacquiao.
But Manny Pacquiao,
then he asked him to come up to 147 and meet at a catch weight. This man didn't even try to make the catch weight, and I've not even got immaculated with this weight yet. You really, brother? You just got through fighting at 54, and then you take that like you did something. Then you fight Robert Guerrero.
His first fight
Robert
back after
Guerrero, you just went out again. I'm sorry, bro. Just went out again.
There you go. His first fight back was not against Juan Manuel Marquez. It was against Ricky Hatton.
Who?
Ricky Hatton. He fought Oscar and then he fought Ricky Hatton.
No, I'm talking about, I said after he took his sabbatical.
Okay, I thought you were saying the first fight back after.
Yeah, because you weren't listening to me, Jim.
That's what you said. We were talking about.
I said after he took his sabbatical.
Okay. Then he fought Juan Manuel Marquez.
I said right.
Okay.
Ricky Hatton. I'm like I said, these certain guys I'm not gonna even bring up.
Because he's white?
No, because Collazo beat his ass before he even got in the ring with Floyd.
Listen,
everybody saw that. Man, it's going out again, Jim. Sorry about that, brother. I don't know what the hell it is. It sounds like a cord because it comes in and out. It sounds like one of your plugs. I remember. I think I got you now.
I'm trying not to touch my mic anymore. So
it's got something. I think it's a cord, man, because I had that same problem with this one.
Yeah.
Once, and I had to change the cord on it.
So I hear what you're saying. So he came back and he dropped weight and he fought a smaller fighter. Fair enough.
A way smaller fighter. A guy that's not even in the category.
I'm gonna give you your just due right now because you're making better arguments than anyone I've ever spoken to. Right? You're making different arguments, and the arguments are sound, right? Whereas most arguments are not sound. Oh, he just didn't fight anybody. He tried to fight Pacquiao. Bob Arum didn't want him to.
I know all of that. I never brought up Pacquiao.
Okay, so we get to Juan Manuel Marquez, and he's fighting light. Then what? So then what after that?
Then you fight Robert Guerrero, bro.
Who should he have fought? I get that's where I'm at with this. Like,
should have is one thing. Did is another.
Right. Guerrero did decent against him. He did decent. He did until the headbutt.
Robert, no. That wasn't Robert Guerrero. You talking about Victor Ortiz?
Victor Ortiz, yeah. Robert Guerrero did. You're right. Robert Guerrero. I was thinking
Robert Guerrero looked like a stiff. Come on, Jim. Robert Guerrero looked like his feet was in cement.
Yeah.
That is what I'm talking about. The African-American fighter that fights that style. That's a 1970s, 60s, 50s, 60s, 75. Move, not get hit. Boom, boom, boom. You've always seen the South American fighter have problems with that style. You've seen it against Sugar Ray Leonard when he fought Roberto Duran the second time.
So to be fair, To be fair, the reason I brought up Victor Ortiz is because he fought Victor Ortiz before he fought Guerrero. Because we're trying to go in order. So he fought Marquez.
No.
Then he fought Mosley. No.
He fought Guerrero first.
No. He fought Victor Ortiz, then Miguel Cotto, and then he fought Robert Guerrero.
Wait a minute. Maybe
Shane Mosley, Victor Ortiz, Miguel Cotto.
Listen to this
Robert
lineup,
Guerrero.
y'all. Miguel Cotto, who had got stopped by 2 guys.
You're changing the subject. We just
No. I'm just saying. Miguel, listen to these names, y'all. Miguel Cotto, who got stopped by Margarito, and then said, "Oh, he had some stuff in his gloves."
He did. He had plaster of Paris.
But that was against Shane Mosley.
But you don't think if he's doing it then, he's doing it all the time?
What we can assume.
Okay, but either way, he fought.
I'm just saying.
He fought Ortiz first. He fought Ortiz first, and Ortiz did well until the headbutt. Then he fought Sugar Shane Mosley. Miguel Cotto. Then he fought Robert Guerrero after Miguel Cotto. So that's why you had me backwards. Guerrero's all the way up.
I can't even remember these fights.
Guerrero's 5 fights.
I don't even remember them.
This is your way of belittling his opponents. Miguel Cotto's a good fighter, Stevie.
I never said any of these guys. What I'm saying is, you're not listening to me, Jim. I've never said these guys weren't good fighters. What I'm saying is their style does not match up with that style.
Nobody's style matches up with Floyd's.
What do you think Robert Guerrero would do against Terrence Crawford?
Get his ass beat.
That's it.
I mean,
how many emergency first?
You're stupid.
How many ambulances? You need 2 ambulances. Come on, bro. Just in case the battery go dead, you need another ambulance and you need some more EMTs. Come on, bro.
But I feel really bad right now because I'm Robert Guerrero's ring announcer for his fights in Gilroy.
We're just making jokes, man. I love Robert Guerrero. He got a great story. He got a great story. Come on, man.
I can't even think right now. What? Okay, let's go. Because you said his style doesn't match up. Okay, let's bring it back around. That style only matches up with nobody's style matches up to Floyd Mayweather's.
Unless you happen to see
there when you punch.
Against the flat-footed Hispanic guy, but not against the African-American, bro. Fast feet and dog, people that you're into athletics just like I am, but I'm from a whole nother world than where you from. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm from a whole nother world, schematically and mentally. We all know this. You don't, but that's not your fault. It's not your fault because you went through the same educational system that I went through. And that was pegged to make you think another way. But
how did we get on? How did this become racist? How did this become about race? Floyd Mayweather's black.
It's not so much about race. It's about how you look at a human being, totally different than the way I look at human being. You see what I'm saying? Totally different because I know the real truth. I know the real truth. You honestly think when people compare Michael Jordan against LeBron James, and some people pick Jordan, some people pick LeBron. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, if they was on the court together, it would not be a slam dunk like Jordan did on everybody in his era.
No, LeBron would play well against him.
Because of the evolution. But you got to look at one thing. They're both they're both from the same ilk.
Right.
And they both came up around the same people.
So I'm gonna piss your listeners off.
I deal with guys that can jump real high and run real fast. If you never dealt with that, what is it going to do to you when you face it face to face? Because you never dealt with it.
Right. So you're saying he avoided all the colored fighters, the black fighters. Also, I say all the African American fighters. Colored.
Now we're talking about race. You gonna call me a colored man?
That's my Rocky. That's my Apollo Creed colored fighters. So the black fighter, he avoided the black fighters because he knew they could beat him. That's what you're saying. Or he knew they'd be a better
avoided the black
test.
fighters because they might make him look bad. And
I cannot believe this is your take.
The easier money is with the Hispanic fighters because Hispanic people love their fighters.
So now I'm going to piss you off, and I'm going to piss off your whole fan base.
Go ahead.
The era of that weight class with Sugar Ray, Roberto Duran, Marvin Hagler, Leonard Hearn,
Right.
I mean, Tommy Hearns, Costa all those guys, right? Floyd would have dominated. Not Costa Floyd would have dominated that era. Dominated.
Well, it's either to say the way you look at things.
They're too aggressive. They're too aggressive. His style plays right into aggressive fighters. They all were too aggressive, and they would get too tired too fast.
Name me one African American fighter from that era that was too aggressive. You telling me Sugar Ray Leonard might have had the highest IQ of any boxer in the history of boxing?
Maybe he did, but Sugar Ray Leonard, maybe he did. But here's my point about that: those guys, they fought wars in the ring. Absolutely, they traded rock'em sock'em robots. It was a slugfest. You try to do that against Floyd Mayweather, and you're going to punch yourself out.
Yeah, if you're a flat-footed Hispanic fighter, yeah, it don't work. It does not work. It doesn't.
Sugar Ray Leonard, by the way, his plus minus on CompuBox was a 13, less than half of Floyd.
This is what I'm just saying. I just chronicled to you the three guys that gave Floyd Mayweather problems, even though he beat them, were African-American fighters.
And you're saying it was Mosley? No, who'd you say?
Chop Curley.
Mosley
and Zab Judah.
Okay. I don't recall.
And Zab Judah was a 140-pound fighter at that time. Remember, he had moved up to 47.
Yeah.
Then he moved back down to 40. Zab was never big enough.
Yeah.
And range.
Mosley was old. Zab was smaller. I get that. I don't know that Corley did very well against Floyd.
Go back.
I'd have to watch that fight again.
Go back
and look. Remember him doing that well.
Me and King Mo had the same conversation.
And he didn't think that Corley did well either.
He didn't think about it until
I have to watch it again. I'll have to watch it again.
You know what I'm saying? Go back and watch that fight.
That was kind of
DeMarcus Curry was a good fighter. He never was a great fighter. But what I'm saying is this: in any sport, and who's ever listening to this, in any sport that we dominate, if you don't come in and dominate the guys that dominate, then you ain't really did nothing. Everything is just bluster, bloviating. That's all it is.
Okay, so
because you don't run track when you come to this hemisphere. When you come to this hemisphere, the fastest people in the world are in this hemisphere. Why is that? You ever thought about that?
No.
It's black people all over the world. But why is it that only in this hemisphere? You ever thought about that?
Public service announcement. Stevie Ray thinks white people have zero athletic ability.
No, don't put words in my mouth.
Hispanics are flat-footed.
You not exactly. They want to brawl. They want to brawl. You don't brawl with a brawler. You know that.
Okay, so your argument
You're telling me you don't know that.
I do know that. But your argument is Floyd's not the best because he didn't fight all the black fighters. Here's my argument.
That's right. No,
Floyd
I'm not saying all of them. None of them. Why didn't he fight Timothy Bradley?
To me, there wasn't. To me, they weren't worth. Where's the payday?
Why didn't he fight Timothy Bradley?
Where's the payday in that fight? Tim Brown's not good enough.
No, so we're gonna talk business or we're gonna talk athletics. See, there's a difference. It's a difference. I understand it was more money in the Hispanic guy than it is with a Timothy Bradley.
Because they were better.
And I'm never questioning that.
Because they were better. Timothy Bradley, they were better. That's why. Timothy Bradley was a decent fighter, but he's not Manny Pacquiao. He certainly wasn't Canelo Alvarez.
Does he have to be? Why does he have to be?
Because
is he a Robert Guerrero? Is he a Miguel Cotto getting stopped twice?
He's as bad. He's on par with Miguel Cotto. I don't think Timothy Bradley's much better than Miguel Cotto. I'm not questioning better. I'm not questioning that. You're questioning skin color.
You're
questioning skin color.
No. I'm questioning how good he was against the fighters that he fought. The same argument you just brought up with Mayweather. If you look at the people he fought, he beat them all.
Absolutely.
And he don't deserve a shot with the guy. But you telling me a guy like Marcus Madonna, who beat nobody but a big mouth Broner, you get 2 shots?
By the way, that's my favorite
kidding me,
fight.
bro?
That's my favorite fight in history, by the way.
You kidding me?
And I tried to fight Adrian Broner at the MGM Grand at the blackjack table, but he wouldn't fight me, just for the record.
I'm just look at what we're talking about right here. And then for somebody to say this guy's the greatest ever, you only the greatest ever when you beat the best of the best. You beat good fighters.
But see, this is the argument I hear from everybody, Stevie, but nobody can tell me who actually was the dominant fighter in that era other than Floyd and Manny. And he beat Manny. He made Manny look like a journeyman. He humiliated Manny Pacquiao.
The guy with one arm? So was Manny lying about the one arm?
Of course. Of course he was.
Okay, bro. I mean, people make all these different concessions when it comes to Floyd Mayweather. If that's who's the best in your mind, that's fine. And I'll never.
I think Castillo. I think you can make an argument that Castillo beat him. I believe that in my heart.
Bro, if you got eyes,
but
I could argue that first Madonna fight.
No way. No way. There's no way.
And I also can argue the Oscar De La Hoya fight.
Okay, so Oscar De La Hoya landed 21% of his punches in that fight. Floyd landed 43.
You didn't know that after the fight, though.
Listen to this. I watched the fight. I was.
No, I'm just saying. So you knew the percentage while they're fighting.
No, but I saw.
Well, in your eye test, you can argue that. Go ahead. No, your deal is off again. Your deal is off again. You keep saying Leon Spinks, but he is not in their weight class. Who was that saying Leon Spinks? Loman?
Nobody's
Loman. Leon Spinks went all the way up to heavyweight, man. That we ain't talking about heavyweights at all. Anyway, can you hear me, Jim?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the deal. De La Hoya is throwing all these punches to the shoulders of Floyd Mayweather, and he's trying to make it look aggressive. Let me tell you a secret about that fight. None of those punches landed. All they did was pop the Hispanic crowd. Oscar De La Hoya threw 100 more punches than Floyd and landed 100 less. That's
okay.
It's not even
we
a close
know
fight.
that through the company.
Not even a close
when
fight.
You watching a fight, when you watching a fight, you can't make those kind of assertions.
I can.
But anyway, go ahead. Man, every time you get excited, you cut it off, man. No, again. I'm sorry, guys. Jim is having some problems with his audio.
If you
go ahead.
You and Tom Johnson down the street watch Raw tonight, okay, in different houses, and watch the same match, you're going to see so many things that he does not see. Okay, me as a boxer, a judge, an analyst, and a commentator, I watch that De La Hoya Mayweather fight and tell you that De La Hoya is not landing those punches.
I'm not saying De La Hoya won the fight.
No, I know, but you're saying, well, you didn't know that till after the fight. No, I knew it.
No. What I'm saying, it's an argument when you watch the fight, not when you sit back after everything and analyze it, psychoanalyze it the way you're doing right now. That's not what I'm talking about. When you're sitting in the audience, like I've done at many fights in Vegas, and watch a fight with all the hoopla, the ballyhoo, the excitement.
But I watch it different than you do. I watch it different. I'm
just talking about your everyday fan.
Okay.
I'm just talking about your everyday fan.
Right.
You can't put yourself in the same category as that. And neither can I. And neither can I. But what I'm saying is, and you know this being a judge, judges can be wooed by those same elements. And they have been on many occasions.
Right.
But I'm just saying, I said an argument. I didn't say he won. I thought he lost.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying.
The stats, okay. The stats in the first Maidana fight and the De La Hoya fight are so lopsided, it's embarrassing. Okay. And I see it, but I get what you're saying. The fans don't see it. So, but that's my whole argument, Stevie Ray. My whole argument is that these fans don't take the time to go learn that. They don't take the
But
time
I'm
to
not
figure out what
arguing.
happened.
I'm not arguing your boxing knowledge
Right.
or
No,
your
you're arguing
boxing prowess. I'm not arguing that.
right.
I would never try to take that away from you. What I'm saying is the way you look at Floyd Mayweather is not how real people that really know look at him. Because when you are that good and you're on the top of the mountain, I've never even seen you on Steve Harvey's Family Feud. I ain't never even seen you on the Family Feud.
Sometimes I don't even know what you're talking about. I really don't.
But I done seen when he had the MMA guys on there a few times. I've seen him have the boxing guys on there a few times. I ain't seen Mayweather one time. Why is that? If he the best of the best.
My man can't read.
You ain't got to read to be on Family Feud. All you got to do is hit the damn button. Hit the damn button.
Then you're going to end up like that dude on the YouTube when he said, "Tell me a man's name that starts with H," and he said, "Jose." That's how you're going to end up. You put Floyd Mayweather on there.
No. What I'm saying, they had Riddick Bowe. I mean, everybody, Vanderholt, all these different people.
Don't get me started on Riddick Bowe.
No. I'm just talking about the guys they've had on Family Feud.
Right.
You're the best of the best. You put yourself ahead of Muhammad Ali. But yet, I haven't seen you anywhere. I seen the Nike swoosh on the back of Manny Pacquiao.
Okay, let me ask you this. Let's go back to 2000. 2000 through today. Okay. Who's the best boxer of that era?
2000, 2010, I have to say Manny Pacquiao.
But Floyd made him look like he didn't even know how to box.
That might be true. You asked me a question, I gave you an honest answer.
And everybody says, "Oh, he fought Manny when Manny was old." Floyd was 2 years old.
I didn't say that.
No, but that's what everyone else's argument is.
I could care less what they say, bro. I don't agree with all those people.
Here's my question.
I got my own analogies about Floyd Mayweather.
Okay, so if Manny Pacquiao is the greatest of that era,
I said 2000 to 2010. I didn't say 2011 to 2020.
I said 2000 to 2020.
Well, you can't be the best in 20 years if one guy got fighter of the decade.
And who was that?
Manny Pacquiao.
But why? If Floyd humiliated him, how is he better than Floyd Mayweather?
He didn't humiliate him till
come on.
16 years later? And the guy was fighting with one arm?
It's not even.
And you never really, and the guy looked like he was ready to sing one of those stupid concerts when he got through fighting you. He still was ready to go sing some Filipino pop songs. He was still ready to go sing. So how much damage did you do?
You can't really think that Manny Pacquiao is the best boxer of that era. You can't, Stevie. You can't.
2000,
listen,
look.
I know Vader dropped you on your head a whole bunch of times, but I know that you don't think that.
Because I'm like, you look at Ricky Hatton. He fought Floyd. Manny disposed of him. You look at Miguel Cotto. He fought Floyd. Manny made him look like he was ready for the trash can. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This guy disposed of the same guys that went 12 rounds with you.
Floyd's not a knockout puncher. He's not a knockout puncher. Pacquiao's a knockout puncher.
And that's what people don't like. I understand the pure science of boxing, but you never got in the ring. When they said Timothy Bradley fight Manny Pacquiao, Timothy went and fought him.
And what happened?
3 times.
And what happened?
3 times.
And what happened?
He got his ass whooped. But he was willing to get in the ring and engage with him. He was willing to get in the ring and engage with him. Firepower. Man, Mayweather never did.
But why though? Why would he? Why would he?
I understand that.
Okay.
But he never did.
Okay.
So,
let's use this. Hold on. Let's do this. Harlem Heat.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this one.
The Harlem Heat, the Road Warriors, the Steiner brothers. My era. Probably, arguably the 3 greatest tag teams of all time. Okay. Now, maybe there's an indie tag team or a tag team that wrestled in TNA that was good. They were pretty good. But how come they didn't come to WCW and wrestle the Harlem Heat? You know why? Because They didn't matter.
Exactly.
Timothy Bradley didn't matter to Floyd Mayweather because Floyd Mayweather
Of course
was
he
up
didn't.
here and Timothy Bradley was down here. So
Of
you're
course
saying
it-
why didn't he fight him? It wasn't
And
'cause he was scared of him.
Madonna mattered. Robert
Well,
Guerrero
when-
mattered.
You know why Floyd fought Maidana, because he humiliated Adrian Broner. I mean, that's
I
all
could
there is
care
to it.
less. Let's not
But
throw
that-
the
that was
rules
a fam-
out because
that was a
that does
family
not
thing.
make an exception of the rules.
It does, because if
Rules are
me and
the
you,
rules.
if
When
me
a
and you
guy's
go to the
worthy,
Comic-Con
he's
tomorrow,
worthy.
if me and you go to the Comic-Con tomorrow and somebody sucker punches you, I'm gonna knock him on his ass because you're my boy. And that's what Floyd did. Adrian was his dude. So he's like, okay, you know what I'm saying?
If anybody remembers all the Floyd Mayweather, whenever you beat a black guy, you got a shot at Floyd. Pro Wrestling 101. Pro Wrestling 101.
My point is, Floyd
Pro
didn't
Wrestling
fight,
101.
Floyd didn't fight Timothy Bradley because A, Bradley can't beat him, and B, there's no money in it.
Yeah, that might be true.
Remember in Tombstone?
Was he worthy?
Tombstone went, no.
Who did Robert Guerrero beat? To get the shot at Floyd. Who did he beat?
Can you leave my boy alone? Just for
No,
a minute?
I'm answering the question. I ain't got nothing against the guy. Who did he beat?
Nobody.
Yeah, he did. He beat Andre Berto.
I knew you were going to say a black guy. I knew you were going to say a black guy. I should have just said Berto. Because I
Who did
know
Victor Ortiz beat?
Andre Berto. But
okay. Who did Madonna beat?
Adrian Broner.
See how this shit work? You don't want to admit it, brother. You didn't want to. It is what it is, dog.
I think the three best fighters of this era are Manny, Floyd, and Canelo Alvarez. And
I can agree with that.
And unfortunately, none of those other two guys are black.
You know what I'm saying? I can agree with that.
It's a Filipino and a Hispanic. What can you do?
And if you think about it, Canelo's doing the exact same thing. He's doing the exact same thing.
What do you mean?
He won't fight the black guys unless he's got an advantage.
Ray Leonard, Hagler, Hearns, Pernell Whitaker are all washing Mayweather Jr. God, this sounds like my buddy Eric Smith. He's all over Sweet Peas nuts. Queen has spoken. What's up, Queen? I was just reading some of the comments.
Oh, okay.
You and my point was Harlem Heat's on top, 10 world titles, 14, 15, 16 world titles, whatever the hell it is, some crazy number. You're not wrestling Tom and Jerry from TNA because why? Okay, maybe they're good. Maybe they got a good work rate.
Like I said, I'm not arguing that. That's
but what
good
if they had
to
beat
stand
if they had
behind.
beat a black team? Would you?
But in the real world, before Floyd retired, let's take it all the way back to this. Before Floyd retired, was Keith one-time Thurman world champion? Was Showtime Sean Porter world champion?
Yeah, but by then, who were they fighting? Who did they beat?
No, I'm just asking a question.
That's my point. The division was so watered down by then, and I'm answering.
Feed that into me.
The division was so watered down by then.
That's got nothing to do with my point, though. That's your point.
Okay, let's hear your
I'm trying to make a point.
Arrive at your point. Arrive at your point.
Okay.
That's what happens when two meatheads
These
argue.
young guys were world champions. These young guys were world champions at 147. Okay? Great fighters.
Okay.
And you going out and you about to retire. All champions that in boxing, in pro wrestling, I don't care what it is, you got to pass the torch. Instead of you passing the torch to one of these young guys that would have drawn money, because you remember when they fought each other on CBS Live, they had the highest ratings.
Are you telling him to do a job?
No. I want you to listen to me. That's all I want you to do. You know, in pro wrestling, the legacy has to move on. The business still needs to make money. And if the business was good to you, you're supposed to be good in it. Same thing in boxing.
Agreed.
All guys fought a young guy. Hagler. Who did he fight? Remember John the Beast Mugabe? Undefeated.
Yeah.
He fought him. He stopped him. That's what I'm talking about. And I heard Mayweather talking about Ali lost to a guy that had seven fights. At least he fought the guy. Right. At least he made that guy into a somebody, and that guy made a good living after that, even though he got his ass whooped. He made him into a somebody.
Are you talking about Trevor Burbick?
You
talking about Trevor Burbick?
No. I'm talking about Leon Spinks.
Leon Spinks, yeah.
Okay? But when it's your time, to give something back to the business that's been good to you, you pick a battered, torn, ragged, and worn Andre Berto.
Okay, hold on a second.
Did he or did he not?
I love you to death, but you know we're not talking about pro wrestling, right? Like, what's he supposed to do? Just he would have beat everybody.
I'm asking you a simple question.
How do you pass the torch as a boxer, Stevie? He's not going to go lose.
If
he goes and beats him, he's actually
the time when the guy that's coming up, the young guy's coming up,
just move out of the way.
Everybody did.
You just move out of the way if you're Floyd Mayweather, because what happens is
exactly.
Now let me make my point. Let me tell you why, though. Let me tell you why. Because your point is we need to pass the torch, pass it on to the next guy, right?
No,
fair enough. But if Floyd fights him,
build another guy. Build another guy. The same way Oscar De La Hoya did to you.
Oscar De La Hoya, listen. If Oscar De La Hoya could have won that fight, he would have.
I ain't saying nothing about winning or losing. You're missing my point, man. I'm talking about
business. You're not letting me respond.
Oscar De La Hoya gave him a chance to be he didn't become a somebody till after that fight.
I disagree with that wholeheartedly.
Well, you can disagree with all you want. Go look at the pay-per-view numbers.
But I will say this.
Go look at the pay-per-view numbers.
If Floyd fights the up-and-coming fighter, like you want him to pass the torch and build him up, he beats him. Then you're doing the exact opposite of what you're trying to accomplish.
No.
It ain't
it's not about winning and losing. It's not about winning and losing. It's about helping make somebody into a named fighter to become a pay-per-view guy, just like.
So who should he have fought on the way out? Who should he have fought on the way out? Thurman?
I just said two guys. They
Thurman
were both number one contender. Keith Thurman was his mandatory.
Right. But he retired.
No, he didn't fight him. He fought Andre Berto. That was his mandatory.
Show must go on and respect the.
What was that? Man, I got so many. I got so many. We'll read those once we get into something else, and we'll start reading some of those. I'm just saying, nobody looks at it like that. It's like prop this guy up, prop this guy up. In our community, this guy's not respected at all.
But that's.
And you know why? It ain't got nothing to do with winning and losing.
Wrong with it.
It's got nothing to do with winning and losing. It's about respect.
Because he didn't fight black guys.
It's about respect.
Okay, so I hear where you're coming from. Okay, I'm coming from a boxing analyst. Who's the best? You're coming from, I'm a black guy from a black neighborhood, and this black guy should have helped lift up the other black guys.
No, this black guy should have fought other black guys. Don't get it twisted.
Same thing. If he fights him, he lifts him up. He gives them. They make the payday. They get to move up the ladder. Right. I see what you're saying, but I hate to.
You went out again. It's like every time. RJ123, bring out the slapjack for Stevie Ray. Bring out the slapjack for Stevie Ray. What the fuck are you talking about?
So, but in I hate to say this, Stevie,
but
that's the wrong.
No, it's not.
I would never think like that if I was Floyd
I could
Mayweather.
care less, man. With all due respect,
I agree.
I'm not trying to disrespect.
And with all due respect,
I'm not trying to disrespect you, bro.
Right. I disagree with your way of thinking. I agree. But I disagree with your way of thinking. I don't think that has anything to do with Floyd Mayweather's legacy at all. I don't.
Bro,
I don't care if he fought.
You fight an MMA guy, which was even worse, to get 50, and then make that into a real boxing match.
Okay, so I didn't
want respect from that.
So now on my end, Floyd Mayweather's 49-0. I don't count that fight because that was a joke. And if Floyd Floyd didn't go like this and duck his head and walk forward, that fight would have lasted one round, and Conor would have got
exactly
right.
Pro Wrestling 101.
You know what? You remind me of my boy, the Honky Tonk Man. Everything's a work.
I'm not saying everything's a work, but I know that was a work. I told everybody that on my radio show before it even went down. I told everybody exactly what was going to happen before
Floyd had to carry him. He had to carry him. There was never going to be a fight if he didn't carry him.
I say, you're talking about a guy that looks like a 5th grade female, the way he holds his hands up. It just got off the bus, and everybody rooting the girls on with cotton bobby socks. Really?
Oh, shit.
That's what we're getting ready to watch right here. And they charging $79 or $89.99. Really? That was what we call a money grab.
For sure.
I'm down with it.
100%, 100%.
I'm
and I'll tell you what, And if Floyd Mayweather had called Stevie Ray and said, let's box for $10 million, he would have said, let's run it.
Look, just because I disagree with shit don't mean I'm stupid.
Loman said, I like the Honky Tonk Man. So do I. He's one of my best friends.
You know what I'm saying? He's one of my best friends too. But I'm just saying, it is what it is. And like I said, when you're the best of the best, when you are the best of the best, you're not judged by your record. You're judged by your competition.
Hey, the Queen says
that is why all those guys from other eras, they're not judged by their record. They're judged by their competition. Now, you agree with that?
Yes. I just don't think Floyd had any competition.
Of course you didn't, because you knew where to go to pick him.
It wouldn't matter who he picked. He would have humiliated everybody.
But see, now you can't say that. Now you're being objective, but you can't say that.
But that's my job.
You can't say that. It's no way. That's an opinion.
Okay, then your opinion. Then yours is an opinion too. Because
I'm giving you facts.
I'm giving you facts too.
And I give you plenty of people that'll back me up on this.
Okay, but hold on. Now hold on. Let me make a point. You said that that's my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Your opinion is
that he would have beat these people without fighting them.
My opinion.
Right.
Your opinion is that he's not the greatest fighter because he didn't fight the black fighters.
No, because he didn't fight the best fighters.
He did,
and the best fighters.
He did, though. He fought Canelo Alvarez. He fought Manny Pacquiao.
Your style are African American fighters.
That's an opinion.
No, that's real, bro.
We don't know that. We don't know that because no one ever beat him.
You telling me a South American, or he fought more Mexicans than anything, can outrun, let's say 80% of them were Mexican.
Okay.
They're going to outrun a black man in the United States of America.
So you don't know, but there's no running. I mean, he's not running. He's just
no. I'm talking about the athlete.
What do you mean?
I'm talking about the athlete in general. You know what I'm saying? You telling me that if you take 70% of a football team that are Hispanic, they're going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs?
Fuck no.
Why?
Because black people are better athletes. I'll say it. I don't give a fuck. But that
you just answered your own question.
But that during that era, there wasn't any great black fighters that would have given Floyd a run for his money. None. Zero. Timothy Bradley would have got starched.
There we go again. You don't know that, bro.
Starched.
Styles make fights, and you know that.
And I've seen Timothy Bradley fight, and I've seen Floyd fight.
Styles make fights.
Starched.
You know what I'm saying? Styles make fights.
I agree.
And I picked the last 3 black fighters that he fought. I just gave you chronicled that he had his worst fights against those guys.
He was also a lot older at that time, Stevie.
No, I'm talking about when he was still in his 20s. Now, he was a little older when he fought
Mosley.
Sugar Shane Mosley, but shit, Shane was 39. How old a man need to be? Shane was 39. His wife was taking everything he had.
Floyd was 30, Floyd was almost 39 when he fought Manny Pacquiao.
I think Floyd was 32.
No, when he fought Manny Pacquiao.
I think it was 36 or 37.
I'll tell you right now, actually. I'll tell you right now, because I know these things.
Yeah, but you ain't took no punishment.
But that's not his fault that nobody can fucking hit him.
I'm just saying, when you can't compare ages with one guy that fell off a cliff with no parachute.
Floyd was 38 years old when he fought Manny Pacquiao. And 63 days, by the way.
Okay.
So, but you can't. I had this argument with my boy Eric Smith earlier. You can't blame him for not taking punishment. What's he supposed to do? Stand out there and go hit me in the fucking face? No,
you're missing my point. What I'm saying is there's an old 38 and there's a young 38. You know that. You work out every day, and you run across guys that are your same age and look like they should be waiting for Social Security. Now tell me I'm lying.
You're right. But if Manny Pacquiao had been a better fighter, he wouldn't have got hit so fucking much.
If Manny Pacquiao didn't have a torn rotator cuff, what about that?
And you give a motherfucker a broom, you want to be a janitor.
Anatomy-wise, Manny does not match up with Floyd.
Correct. At all.
Anatomy-wise. And I used to tell everybody.
And style-wise. And
I used to tell everybody, numbers, Floyd got longer reach, and he got fast hands. That's hard to deal with for a shorter fighter. When the last time Floyd Mayweather fought somebody shorter than him?
Who's he going to fight? Who's shorter?
No, I'm asking a question. That's just like when Holyfield fought Mike Tyson. I've been fighting 6'5", 250-pound guys. Now they're going to put a guy in here shorter than me that can't move laterally from side to side. I'm going to eat him like collard greens. And that's what you saw.
And headbutt the shit out of him.
Good. You don't like your job? Quit. Good. How many headbutts we done seen Mike do?
What am I doing? He can't headbutt anybody. He's 10 feet below him.
He come up.
Who the fuck?
He come up. How many elbows? How many elbows?
I had Evander on my show, and I called him out for the headbutts, and he's like, well, sometimes it just happens. I'm like, no, you fucking – when they did the champions thing in Vegas, they had them all up there, and they were all talking about his headbutts. That dude was the master of the headbutt.
Man, I seen –
Junkyard Dog.
That first fight, I saw Mike trying to get out of that fight. And this is the thing. Mike was trying to get out of that fight by throwing his head in too and try to get stopped on cuts. Go back and look at it.
I will agree with you that Tyson never wanted to fight Evander, ever. Mike never wanted to fight Evander. I will give you that 100%. But no, he was not throwing his head into Evander. Evander's
Go back and look at it.
Specialist.
Go back and look at
Evander headbutted every single fighter he ever fought.
Go back and look at it. Mike was trying to get out of that fight, man. Because, I remember talking to, oh, God, what is his name, man? He was a commission guy. Had the white hair and the big mustache.
In Nevada?
In Vegas. Then they had the one lady that wore the glasses.
Adelaide Bird.
Is that her name?
I think so. Is she black?
No, white lady.
I don't know.
No, these ain't judges. These people work with the commission.
Okay.
You remember when Mike bit Evander, my man had to walk in the ring and talk to Mills Lane. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. But them same people used to come to the wrestling shows.
Might have been Larry Hazard.
No, not Larry. He looked like a professor, man. He looked like one of those awkward professors.
I don't know. I wasn't in the commission back then, so I'm not sure who it would have been.
This was like in the mid-90s, mid to late 90s.
Yeah.
Oh, what is his name? God damn. Robert Hoyer. He used to work with commission. Now he's a referee. You know Robert?
Yeah.
Okay. All these guys used to come to the we used to have to do the dumb commission shit in Nevada. Yeah. So these guys, same guys that you see at the wrestling. And what I'm saying is, we don't bring them up. I remember me and my brother grilling him. We remember grilling him after both of those fights. We remember grilling him and Robert Hoyer. And they couldn't do nothing but laugh. They couldn't do nothing but laugh.
Pyro
we
Maximus.
Was like, hey, all of y'all in on this. Huh?
I got to read this comment. He said that I proved your point by saying Mike didn't want to fight him. No, I agree Mike didn't want to fight him. I agree with Stevie's point, but he definitely wasn't attempting to get headbutted by the massive melon head of Evander Holyfield.
Who said
Pyro
that?
Maximus.
Hey, Maximus, go back and look at the fight and look and see who initiated the headbutts.
No, he's agreeing with you. He's agreeing with you. I'm disagreeing.
I know
there's
you
no
disagree.
way Tyson who's going to initiate a headbutt?
Go back and look at the fight. He was running in doing that right there.
He always did that. He did that his whole career.
He was trying to get, I'm telling you, brother, that joker was trying to get back to the hotel and get a cigar.
I'm going to call Mike right now and tell him you're talking shit. I'm going to put him on three-way and tell him Stevie Ray's
No, Mike, my boy, man, but I'm just going to tell it like it is. This is how we do, right Jim, this is how we talk to each other. You dig?
Yeah.
If you was hanging around with me, Mike Tyson, Jerry Rice, and a few other guys, this is how we talk to each other.
Yeah, I hang out with Mike. I barbecue with Mike. I know, but I'm just saying, like, I know, and I'll say it out loud. He might even fucking hear this. I know he didn't want to fight Evander. He didn't want to fight Evander.
But you know why? You know why they fought him?
Dogs are fighting.
They fought Mike because they seen that last fight with Riddick Bowe. We was in Florida. Kevin Sullivan was the main guy pushing this issue. So I betted Kevin Sullivan and about 10 other guys that Evander Holyfield was going to knock Riddick Bowe out. Me, my brother, and Evander used to catch the same flight to Atlanta from Hobby Airport. It was 6:05 in the morning, straight shot to Atlanta. So we'd be the only three people sitting in first class, and we would be talking about boxing. and different things like that, wrestling, whatever. Or we sleep because it's so early in the morning. Now, Evander told me what he was going to do, but he didn't tell me he had a virus before the fight.
Right.
And he ran out of steam, and really both beat him up. Okay.
Listen, you got to listen to my interview with Evander, because listen, dude, everything that's ever happened to Evander, he's been hornswoggled. He tried to tell me that Caesar's Palace paid the fan man to fly into the ring during that fight, that they hired him to do it. And I was like, wait, I go, wait, Evander, are you saying that they hired him to do it? He goes, well, it seems that way to me. Then when he went on Dancing with the Stars, he said they tricked him, that they told him there wasn't gonna be anybody that could dance. He said, but they tricked me on that. Then he went on Celebrity Big Brother, same thing. Well, they tricked me. So the end of the year on my podcast, year-end stuff, the number 3 thing was Evander Holyfield always gets tricked. And he swears to this day that Caesar's Palace paid the fan man to fly into the ring so he couldn't win the fight.
Well, I know they didn't trick him when he fought that third fight with Riddick Bowe, because that was all over
look at
the boxing stuff
DTA.
anyway.
Holyfield low-key dirty as hell. That is correct.
Hey, but wait a minute. Who was that? DT?
Yep.
DTA Holyfield right. Was low-key dirty.
Right.
So what, man? So what? Boxing is a tough sport.
But then go fight MMA.
No, you fight boxers that do the same thing. Mike Tyson did so many low things it ain't funny. No, where we from, you don't complain about it. You be about it. You hit me low, I'm gonna hit you low.
Listen, hey, all Mike did was bite someone's ear off, man. It's really not that big of a deal.
No, I'm talking about before that. I'm talking about before that. Hey, no, I don't let nobody off the hook, man. I'll tell it like it is. I don't let nobody off the hook. You know what I'm saying? Mike is a great, great fighter. But I won so much money. This is the honest to God truth, y'all. Who was that? Somebody, Evander was on steroids. You want me to tell you who was on steroids? I'm not going to even get in there. I'm not going to even address that, bro, because it's, you know what I'm saying? We don't do that on the show. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm not going to even address that. Talking about somebody on steroids. Steroids ain't ever whooped nobody's ass. I'll tell you that. I know plenty of people that been on steroids and got their fucking ass drugged. Drugged. Right. You know what that means? They drug your ass up and down the street. Because I'm like this, brother. If you don't know how to fight, ain't no fucking, you can't put no drug in your ass, gonna make your fucking.
That's my argument with about Barry Bonds. He could take all the steroids in the world. It ain't gonna help him hit a fucking fastball. Might help him hit a little
at
further.
100 miles an hour?
Yeah, exactly.
That's moving?
Yeah, correct.
And steroids, all of a sudden, if it's that easy, I do the same thing. I have the same argument with people about Barry Bonds. If it's that easy, anybody could do it. Anybody. Yo, your microphone went out again, bro. But everybody out there that's watching.
All the hitters were on steroids. The pitchers he was hitting off, Stevie, were on steroids. So let's get real. He was just that much better. End of discussion.
Brother, this is what I used to tell people, and I'll see if you agree with me or not. Barry Bonds was getting up there in age. A lot of people that ever watched Barry Bonds' career, and he was an all-around baseball player. Stole bases, one of the best outfielders, hit home runs, got on base, slugging, everything. Golden Gloves guy, the whole thing. Once he got to a certain age, Barry Bonds took up a program where he wanted to put size on and become a power hitter.
Yep.
When you are a super athlete, that means the best of the best of the best. They can do that. Now, you look at a guy like, let's see, Jose Canseco, who's been taking shit, admittedly, for years. And he's seen, after he took it for so long, he didn't even need it. He even came out and said it. I really didn't need it. He just thought he did. Like a lot of people do. I see these guys in the gym all the time. They just think they do. Somebody was asking me today on my live, I do a live thing sometimes on Instagram, and said, Arn Anderson told a story on his podcast or someone's podcast that one day he walked in the gym and saw me doing 525 on the bench. He said, is that true? I said, may have been. I don't know. But I don't remember. But there were times I would test my strength when I was on the road. And yeah, I could bench 525 for doubles. And I could do 405 for 10.
I'm
and
at
let me tell you
465
this.
max.
I wasn't on drugs. I wasn't on drugs like everybody thought I was. I just lift heavy and did basic compound movements and basic deadlift, quarter deads anyway. Heavy legs and heavy benching. I've never had a drug body, but I always had a strong body.
Right.
And I've been doing that for years. And I'll be the first to tell people, I've tried drugs. I used to take Decadurable. And you know why? Because it heals your muscles.
Correct.
I'm not going to
listen.
Your joints. I tell people, and I'm not ashamed of it. I do it. Okay. I've done it.
I started bodybuilding at 47 years old.
Right.
Okay. And listen, I'm not natural. I don't give a shit. My test was low. I worked out as hard as I could, and I wasn't getting the gains I wanted. So, but it's not what people think. You don't take steroids and all of a sudden you're a fucking monster.
Right.
You got to work your ass off. Right. And you have to eat right and work and sleep and work and work and work. You almost have to work fucking harder, Stevie.
Right.
And so I don't buy into all this shit. And I could tell you right now, in the major leagues at that point in time, half the fucking hitters were on steroids, and none of them were hit or more. Yeah. And none of them were hitting like Barry Bonds.
Exactly.
Period.
That is a skill. And you can't make people understand that skill set. When a super athlete goes, man, I don't want to be running bases no more. I don't want to be trying to steal. I'm going to turn myself into a high. And with that kind of hand-to-eye coordination that Barry Bonds has had since birth, and you know all the pitchers in the league. You know every pitch that they like to throw.
You've seen them a million times.
Yeah. Exactly. But to take that and make it about drugs, to try to excoriate this man, to banish this man from baseball, I haven't watched baseball since.
Yep.
Because that's wrong.
Yep. You got
and I know for a fact, between me and you, Jim, and I ain't calling no names. I know for a fact guys that have done drugs that are in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
For sure.
This is what I know. And I ain't just saying this.
Yeah. It's in the NFL Hall of Fame. In the boxing.
I mean, not NFL. I'm sorry. Major League Baseball.
No, but Major League Baseball and NFL and boxing, all of them. Listen, man, people enhance. It is what it is. And sometimes it gets so bad in a league at a certain era, if you don't, you can't fucking compete. It's all there is to it. But I'll tell you what, you strip out all the fucking drugs, take everybody in the league off of roids, including Barry Bonds, including the Rocket, Roger Clemens, all those guys. And I'm telling you
another friend of mine,
Barry Bonds will still be the best fucking hitter in the league.
And
I don't care
what
anybody
Rocket will
says.
still be the Rocket.
That's correct. That's right.
I know if anybody ever seen how big this dude is, man. Roger Clemens. Roger Clemens is a big dude, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's a big dude. He's a big dude that can sling it, man, and spin it. But yeah, brother. So I don't know how we got on this. Somebody said something about Evander Holyfield was still. I'm gonna put it like this, bro. Whooping ass. If that's all it took to whoop ass, everybody be whooping ass.
That's right. That's right. It doesn't work that way. I compete against guys that are juiced out of their heads in the USPA, and I smoke them on a daily basis because I work harder. That's all there is to it. I work harder, and I'll continue to work harder. And that's the difference between guys like you and other tag teams. You had the look because you busted your ass in the gym, and you took the bumps. You worked your ass off to get where you got. That's what I hate. I saw a thing today. I'm bringing this up really fast. I saw a thing today about Logan Paul winning the title. And someone said, who gives a shit? It's predetermined. And maybe it doesn't mean as much as it did back then. But to get a belt, you have to be good at what you do. You have to work your ass off. You have to be one of the best. They don't just put the strap on you because it looks cool. Maybe they do that more now than they used to. But back in the day, especially the NWA days, with the Flares and the Harley races, it was by committee. Can this kid carry the strap? Can he work this many dates? Can he travel? Can he put on a show? And it mattered. So you can say it's predetermined. That's great. But they're still putting the belts on the guys that deserve it. And that's really all there is to it.
And the thing is, brother, they don't, like you just said, they don't do shit because they ain't got nothing else to do. They do it for a reason, which means they put about like Logan Paul in a program Whereas everything today, I don't care what the business is, you got to see how many followers people got. If that means more asses and seats or more people following on Instagram or this, that, and the other, TikTok, whatever the situation may be, all of that shit is relevant now. And if you bring that kind of notoriety to a brand, it's just like we were just talking about with Mayweather. I know why he didn't fight Timothy Bradley. I'm just saying I wanted him to fight Timothy Bradley. I know it wasn't no money in it.
Right.
I'm not, but that's not what I'm debating.
Correct.
I'm debating. I know it was more money in Marcos Maidana. He's Argentinian, which is Hispanic, and he just beat a brother.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. That's big money. I get it. I wish I had some of that money.
I'll take some Harlem Heat money. Give me some Harlem Heat money.
You be broke.
I'm already broke.
My brother Smart, he's still up there. Okay. He's still up there. You better go holler at him. But anyway, I get it. I get the business side, but I always like to argue the fan side.
Right.
That's me. I like to argue the fan side. And the only way, when you are the best at something, there are certain perks that come with it. And one of the perks is Fortune 500 companies are all over your doorstep.
Yep.
And that is what I'm saying. They're not at his doorstep. So what does that mean? They don't look at him the same way Jim Cooley does.
Right.
They don't.
Right. Yeah. I'm going to stand by. I hear your side of it. I get it. As a fan, I hear your side of it for sure. But I'm going to stand by the fact that statistically, he just is the best,
Yeah.
And
especially fighting the weak.
You're so stupid.
Yeah, he just like the third rank. Yeah, listen, it was cool going through.
For those of you at home listening, you need to know that Booker T carried Harlem Heat throughout their whole career. Stevie Ray did nothing to add to that team.
Well, how hard is that? To play in the game, you got to get in the game.
That's right.
Because a lot of people think about the game.
Yeah.
See the difference? Because we put asses in seats.
Who's your football team?
Steelers.
Okay, I can't talk to you anymore. We got it. That's a white people team. That's a white people. Look behind me.
Good. I don't look at the world in black and white.
Falcons.
I look at the world in right and wrong.
Okay. You just made it all about black and white with Floyd Mayweather.
No, that's the way you took it because you are not of African American ilk.
You don't know.
You can't help yourself.
You haven't seen me with my pants off. You don't know if I'm African American or not.
I'm not blaming you. But it's the same way when you see politics. The way black people look at politics and the way white people look at politics, totally different. And it's the same politics. You know why?
I can agree with that.
Because we come from two different worlds.
Correct.
I'm just going to put it out there,
I'm going to tell you. So in middle school, I had never been around a black family. My best friend's name was Mark Green, black kid from the South. He lived in Sacramento. And his mom, greatest lady, big old jolly black, obese lady, just big mama. And so I'd never been to a black house. So we're at the dinner table and I'm sitting there and I'm just kind of, I'm observing. And Mark reaches across my plate to grab the salt. And before I can even help him to reach it, she hit him so fucking hard. I've never seen anything like it, bro. I was like, I mean, and everybody just kept eating because they just expected it because he reached across my plate and he got bitch slapped for it. And so I left there going, okay, this is a different world. This is a different world. And then he was my best friend for several years and I learned a lot more about the culture. But at that point in my life, I was like, what the just happened? You know what I mean? It's just, and I agree with you. It's different. Everything's different.
I mean, I'm just like this. If Tommy Hearns could have fought a Roberto Guerrero, if Tommy Hearns could have fought a Marcus Maidana, if Tommy Hearns could have fought a Miguel Cotto, if Tommy Hearns could have fought a little bitty ass Manny Pacquiao, imagine what that man would have dealt to them people, man. How many ambulances do you have in the back? How many helicopters?
He would have done what Floyd did to him.
No,
he would have beat him. He would have beat him.
No, dog.
Listen, in the end, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you win by an inch.
What none of them undefeated. So somebody had already beat all of them.
Right.
What none of them undefeated. That ain't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the critical list. You ever been on the critical list? You ever been on the critical list?
I don't get
Anybody
put
know
on the
how that
critical
shit
list.
feels?
I know how to fight. I don't get myself put on the critical list.
Well,
I put
okay.
people on the critical list.
Okay. Did you ride to the hospital with him? Or did you watch him roll him off on the gurney and say, hey, good riddance, sucker, because you shouldn't have ran up in here? Which one did you do? Did you go, oh, I'm sorry. Let me go to the hospital. Like a rerun of Emergency, that old TV show.
I can't believe you just made an emergency reference. All these people in this comments have no fucking clue what show you're talking about.
I don't care. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I do that a lot on this show.
I remember that show.
I don't care. When I do that, I want them to go look it up. I tell them, go look it up. Did you get on in the gurney with him after they put him in the ambulance and hold his hand? Hey, brother, I'm sorry. I really didn't mean to hit you like that, man. I'm sorry, man. How long is it going to take to get to the hospital? Hurry, step on it. If that's what you did, Jim.
You're so stupid. I'm not going to respond to you right now. I'm not going to stoop to your level. I'm not doing
No, you didn't do that. You said, hey, baby, good riddance. That's what you did. Just like Deacon Jones. Anybody remember the great David Deacon Jones, defensive end for the Los Angeles Rams back in the 60s? Deacon Jones said, I hate quarterbacks. Deacon Jones was the one who came up with the word sack. The word that everybody here today, you want to know where it came from? It came from David Deacon Jones, because he said he hate quarterbacks. And he said, if I get this 6'5", 265-pound body moving 4.5 seconds, and I get the right angle on him, yes, he should go to the hospital, because I'm trying to put him in the graveyard. That's what Deacon Jones said. You can't say that stuff these days.
No, you'll get kicked out of the league. But I
still remember that as a kid. And that's
you breathe on the quarterback wrong and you get kicked out of the league these days. It's not the same sport. It's not the same sport.
If you wave at them, like, hey, man, how you doing? 15, kicked out the game, waving at the quarterback. That's just the way it is now. But I'm just saying, that's just the way I look at sports. Sports is by the man's sport. And that's what I'm saying. If you're the best at something, brother, Nike has used, I'm going to use this analogy. Nike has used, and they love to use, the African-American athlete. You know why? Because once they do all of their research, they know this guy is going to be a cornerstone for everything we sell to everybody. That is why Bo Jackson becomes what he is. That is why trying to be like Mike became what he is. That is why they gave Colin Kaepernick a commercial and they stuff went through the roof. They know what they're doing. So when it comes down to being the best of something, Floyd Mayweather should be on that list, and he's not on that list. So that shows you how, because they know people are not going to buy if he endorses. You look at any white rapper, what he always got? Black guys dancing behind him.
You are a racist. You are a racist ass.
Tell me I'm lying. Or white female rapper. Tell me I'm lying. You can't tell me I'm lying because it's true. Because they know you have to be a part of the culture to compete in the culture.
Or
you know?
Play devil's advocate, or they grew up in that culture.
No, they didn't. You telling me Iggy Azalea grew up in that culture in Australia?
Okay, we're not debating Iggy Azalea.
Yeah, we are.
I'm not fucking debating Iggy Azalea with you, Steve.
Why not?
Because I'm not going to. But Eminem grew up in that culture. That's why he has black people behind him.
I'm not saying he was created or manufactured. What I'm saying is, when you get in that culture, you have to become that culture.
I agree.
And a lot of people are really authentic, like an Eminem. Are you telling me Vanilla Ice was hanging around brothers when he up in Dallas riding motocross? Robbie Van Winkle?
Can I say something? You realize that if I was on this podcast with a Hispanic host, you realize that he would be explaining how the Hispanic fighters are better than the black fighters, right? You get that, right? Now, the only race that isn't going to argue that they have the best fighters are us honkies because we don't, period.
Hey, man, I can't let you use those kind of racial epithets on the show, bro. I can't
But-
let you do that. That will be cut out.
But
Let me call hope my producer watching right now. Cut that out.
But all the Hispanic people will definitely say the Hispanics has the best fighters.
And that is why Floyd Mayweather always went out of his way to fight them, because they stand behind their boxers like no other race of people on this earth.
Agreed.
No, yeah,
I agree.
If I was promoting him, I would do the same thing. I'm not against money, bro. I'm not against what's real out there, because economically, I can dig it. The only thing I had a problem with is when it was time for you to go to the Sun, you should have gave one of them brothers a chance, bro. You should have gave one of them a chance, man. That ain't right.
Well, I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to argue that with you, because that's not my culture, and I'm not involved in that culture.
No, but that's the boxing culture.
I hear
all
you.
boxers did it. Larry
okay, so
Holmes
while
did
we're
it.
on this subject, I'm going to ask you, because I haven't asked you yet. I didn't ask you on the show. I've asked every fucking buddy. On that note, let's go back to pro wrestling for a second.
Okay.
Passing the torch.
Mm-hmm.
Who was in the wrong in Calgary? Who was in the wrong for, I'm sorry, not Calgary, who was in the wrong for the Montreal screw job?
I know what you're talking about.
Because I feel like Bret Hart should have said, yes, I'll drop the strap to Shawn Michaels.
This is the thing in professional wrestling, and I don't know if anybody's ever explained it to you. There's a certain thing,
you know,
and I know where I know where you're coming from when you talk about Bret Hart should have did this, then yeah. But certain wrestlers have earned a certain cachet.
Okay.
Certain wrestlers have earned a certain cachet to go out the way they feel this way. And you know, Bret is from a wrestling family.
Yeah, royalty.
So he knows this more than any of us. And Bret's a good friend of mine. We went overseas together a few times, and we used to have a lot of long talks. As a matter of fact, we was on the road together as tag team partners once during the NWO thing. So I've had many conversations with Bret Hart. So I know exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about this. I won't give you the ins and outs of what we actually talked about verbatim, but I will put it like this. Certain people like Bret Hart have earned a certain cachet that should be respected.
Okay.
And I'll leave it at that.
Okay. And I'm
give
fine
an
with that
opinion
answer.
about who's right and wrong. I can look at it from both sides.
Right. And I'll take that. So just so you know, I don't know if you know, but I trained at All Pro Wrestling. I wrestled Jimmy Snuka. I teamed with the Road Warriors. I promoted shows. So I've been in the business. But here's where we're going to disagree on one small point, because I hear you. The Hulk Hogans, the Ric Flairs, the Stings, the Dusty Rhodes, those guys. I feel, and this is my opinion, and it's a very uneducated opinion when it comes to this, because you're much more educated than I am. And I love Bret Hart, and I love the Hart family. But I feel like Bret only got into that position because of the steroid trial, because Hogan jumped ship, because Savage jumped ship, because Warrior jumped ship. I feel like without that, Bret's amazing wrestler. But is he ever going to be the guy if that doesn't happen? No, in my opinion, he's not. I feel like Vince did more for Bret than Bret did for Vince. That's my opinion.
And that may be true, but that doesn't take away from what I'm talking about. Everything you're saying is 100% true. Everything you're saying. The promoting and the company is always going to do more for the participant because it's his show. But you also got to realize when you put a person in that position, just like we was talking about with Logan Paul, when you put a person in that position and you put the strap on, and you did it for a reason.
Right. Yeah.
So he also has that in his corner also. But whether whatever the thing was going on in his head as to this, that, and the other, because I know Turner had offered him a lot of money.
Shit ton.
That they never really got back because of the, we'll go into that on another show.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, I see it from Vince's side, but I also see it from Bret's side. And you got to realize another thing. They was going through this transition. WWE was going into this transition. When you say he wouldn't have been the man, they was going into this transition, whereas the person being the man was never going to be the man again.
Right.
They was getting ready to go into that.
Right.
Slowly but surely, step by step, inch by inch, whereas a one-person pony show, it's not going to be that anymore. They was moving toward that. And I think Brett knew it. And Brett's time had just came up because they was going through the transition of new, younger people.
Right.
Also, if you think about that, that is why Shawn Michaels became what he became.
Correct.
After that, you know what I'm saying? So it was moving toward the younger that's when they start calling everything and generate new generation, all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They knew what they were doing. And I think Brett knew that also. Of course, Hogan knew it because he had already gone over to Turner. So I can see Brett's argument. And I'm not saying I agree or disagree because I'm always on the fence because I'm just like the same way I look at politics. I don't vote Democrat because you see the abundance of black people voting Democrat. I don't vote Republican because I'm in a certain tax bracket. I like to listen to the arguments. I like to see what people are bringing to the table. And that's why I'm a registered independent because I don't want to get caught up in y'all bullshit.
Yeah.
I'll make a assessment for myself. That just makes me feel good. So I can look at both sides and see where they both come from because of the reason I say that, because I've talked to Brett about this.
Right.
If you see what I'm saying.
I get,
So I'm not making an assessment of what I think. I'm making an assessment of what I know. So I'm
which
saying,
is what
you had the cachet to think the way you did. Now, if I hadn't talked to him, you see what I'm saying? I might be thinking something else. But I'm not saying one was right and one was wrong or vice versa. What I'm saying is I understand both sides.
Right. And honestly, Mark Smoove just made a good point. After Medusa, Deborah Alundra went on to WCW and threw the title in the can.
Right.
He didn't want Brett to do that either. So
exactly.
And there's another good argument that was made earlier about him not wanting to do it in Montreal. But I know for a fact, being around at that time, that they offered to have him lose at other places, and he turned that down as well. So we'll leave that alone. That being said, sometime we'll have to come back and talk about that because I think that Vince did a great job taking what he had left and building something up to fight the guys that he'd already built that he was going against. Yeah.
Vince is a genius. He knows exactly. He invented this business, what they call sports entertainment. He invented that. So who's going to implement it better than him?
Right. I agree.
Jackson just made a point. As a wrestler, should Shawn never want to lose a match in America the way Brett didn't want to lose in Canada, but I do think there should be a full investigation on.
I hear what he's saying. But at the same time, Brett's entire identity was Canada, and Vince made it. So it's a little bit different. Yeah. So
it is a little different.
Agree with that. I don't agree with that comparison. I see what he's saying. I see what you're saying, Jackson, but Brett was literally the face of Canada in WWE. So as much as I'm on the other side,
because of Brett being on top, you got a whole nother market.
Right.
A whole nother market, brother. When they do that area. Because
ticket sales were immense.
That was come on, bro.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But anybody that's been out there watching on Facebook, you got to go to the Facebook feed on my Facebook channel. And why it's not showing up, I don't know. If you guys say you can't hear me, because you can't hear me through the phone. Well, you can hear me, but you can't hear my guest, But, it is what it is.
What a shame for them.
Maybe you could, it really is, man, because today's edification was very, very deep. Very, very deep. And this man want to call me a racist. And see, the last time I was on his show, I told him a lot of people don't know how to talk about race. They just don't.
This is the first podcast I've ever been on where I got called a honky. First time
you called yourself a honky. What are you talking about? But I gotta go, y'all. I'll see y'all later. Don't put that on me. No, we're not going yet. This is just my I had my Facebook feed on my phone on. You know what I'm saying? No, you called yourself that. So I just want to make sure my my guy sees that so we can bleep it out. Because people gonna say I said it.
Right.
Stevie Ray called.
It's gonna be on Yahoo by the end of this show. Stevie Ray called a white man a honky and said Hispanic people were flat-footed.
I didn't say Hispanic. See it?
You've been digging a hole the whole time.
I didn't say nothing about Hispanic people. I said Hispanic boxers. How do you take, not even a percent of 80 million people and make me say them all? Don't do that to me, bro.
I heard what I heard. I heard what I heard.
I'm just saying, if Tommy Hearns, Sugar Ray, hell, Roberto Duran, if you put one of them suckers in front of me every fight, watch see what I do to him.
Yeah. I get you. I get you.
You see what he did to Davey Moore?
We gotta do this again, though. We gotta do this again.
Most definitely, man. Most definitely. Everybody, we appreciate all the comments tonight. But I didn't realize Jim and I had gone so long, man. Or I would have read. I usually like to get into some of you guys' comments and stuff like that, and let him answer a lot of them and stuff like that, or both of us, so on and so forth. But man, we've got into this thing so deep, and I'm glad you guys enjoyed it, because that's, y'all, this is what I do. This is what I do, man. We like to bring stuff from a different angle for people to see things in a different light. But like I said, I'm not going to have the conversation you done had with everybody else, Jim. That ain't how it go, bro. I don't do that.
Yeah.
I'm coming from a total different angle, bro. Totally different. And I'm not ashamed of telling you how people think in my community. I'm not ashamed.
I get it.
The only people that actually worship a Floyd Mayweather, if you notice this, I don't know how you get around. I don't know where you hang out. But if you're talking to this younger hip-hop generation that don't know shit, I'm sorry. I'm just going to tell you like it is. They all believe in that bravado. You see what I'm saying? These the same people that said Michael Jordan had the best college basketball career of all time.
He did.
Same people.
I got to respond to Real Cold G really fast. When I made that colored reference, I was thinking of Rocky, where he said, "You can't train him like a colored fighter," and that's all I was thinking in my head. And it popped out. And as soon as I said it, I said, "What?" Because in my whole life, I've never said.
Yeah, man, he called me colored. Now that is the stuff that should hit the airwaves. Not me. Not me, Jim. You cut off again, Jim. You cut off again.
To play the audio of when your brother came on my podcast, because he picked the time, right? I let him pick the time because it was pre-recorded.
What was that again? I didn't hear you.
When your brother came on my show, he picked the time. I let Booker pick the time. And you have to hear the audio from the beginning, because when I called him, he was like, "What's up?" And I was like, "What's up, man? We're going to do the show." And he's like, nah, we said 7. And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Nah, man, we said 7. I'm not going to do this." And I'm like, "Booker, it's Pacific Standard Time." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, you're right. Let's go." Well, he was ready to hang up on me, bro. And so in all my podcast episodes.
Oh, man, I'm just glad. I just hate we keep cutting off, man. Jim, I can't hear you. Can I hear you? Come back on. I can't hear you, brother.
So in all my episodes, I never aired the original phone call when I call my guest, but on his, it's on the beginning of the episode, because I want everybody to hear it, because it's so funny.
Well, hey, man, we got it right. I know you're in Cali. I'm here in Texas. And, brother, we're glad you came on the show tonight to chop it up with your boy, man. And whenever you want me to come back on, it's all good. But this is how we do it. This is how we do it on my show, brother. Don't nobody get no Al, brother.
Look at Pyro.
Nobody.
He said, "Bring Jim back." He said, "Bring Jim back." Too funny.
I know, man. I know. Hey, brother, we just tell. Hey,
we'll have a pose down next time.
Man, I hurt my elbow the other day, man. I hurt my elbow, and I don't know. I was just doing some regular push downs, man, and I don't know. Got a little, but it's getting better day by day. I've been icing it, and just one of them things, a little strain. It's all good though. But hey, everybody, we might be on tomorrow. We might not if I feel like it. But hey, Sonny will be back next week. Jimmy will be back next Monday, and I got a couple of surprises coming up for you guys in the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned, because it's going to be on like a steaming pot. Y'all know what I'm saying, man. Y'all know what I'm saying. But for my man, Jim Cooley, I am Stevie Ray, and this is the world's most dangerous podcast. And we'll see you when we see you. But always remember, be one. Peace.